Having a successful HVAC business is great, but if people can't find you online, you're missing out on a ton of potential jobs. A professional website is essential for attracting more customers, building trust, and ensuring that you're the first HVAC expert that they call when they need heating or cooling services. Without one, you risk losing work to competitors who show up in search results while you remain unnoticed. So today, I'm going to walk you through how to create an HVAC website that builds credibility, attracts new clients, and helps keep your schedule full. Plus, I'll reveal the #1 mistake that most HVAC businesses make and how to fix it quickly. The first step is picking the right website platform. And for HVAC businesses, my top recommendation is Wix. Now, with over a decade of experience building websites, I can confidently say that Wix is the best choice for a user-friendly, mobile-optimized site. It has everything that you need, like service pages, customer reviews, and a contact form that makes it easy for people to reach out to you fast. Wix also allows you to create a professional-looking website without hiring a expensive, web developer. And best of all, it's completely free to try. So to begin, go ahead and click on the link right up here, or check out the link in the description below. Click on that link right now, and then I will actually walk you through this entire process step by step. So go ahead and give it a click. Okay, so assuming that you clicked on the link, you're gonna go ahead and go to here. This is gonna be the page. So put your email address in and click on Start Now. And then it's gonna bring you into this page here. We're gonna click on Create New Site. So the first thing it says is, hey, let's have this chat with AI. And you may think, well, I don't wanna have a chat with AI. Yes, you do. The reason why you wanna have a chat with AI is it'll make your site, creating your site, that much easier, right? What this will do, basically, you have a chat with AI and then you give it all the details, and then what it will do is actually help and put a lot of those details into your site and understand what your site needs, right? So we'll go ahead and click on Start Chat here. Again, don't recommend that you skip this. Have this chat. You'll see why in a minute. Okay, so first tell me what your site is all about. So we'll fill this out. And I have an HVAC company located in Chicago, Illinois. I'm looking to make a site, so I have an online presence. Go ahead and click Next. It says great choice. Having an online presence can definitely help with your business. Now, what is the name of your HVAC company? Now put in your name, obviously. I'm just gonna put my name, a generic name. I'll just say Ron's HVAC. My name's Ron, by the way. So we have that in there. I'll click on Next, but again, put in the name of your information or your company. So who is your target audience? So I think it's kind of a weird question. I mean, it's really anybody who needs HVAC services. So let me put that in here. So I put anyone who needs HVAC services, mostly homeowners, but also commercial buildings. If you do commercial work, right? So we'll put that in there. Do you have any specific features or functionalities in mind for your website, like online appointment scheduling or a gallery of your work? Online appointment scheduling, you can actually set this up. And I guess I will just for the sake of this tutorial. But that's kind of nice because you can have people book their meetings right then and there, or book their appointments right there. And then also gallery work. So I'll actually say all of the above. And then can you tell me about any unique selling point of your HVAC business? So we'll fill this out if you have one. So I have been an HVAC technician for 12 years. We started the business 3 years ago and have hundreds of happy customers. We focus as much as we can on great customer service. So let's click Next. And then it says that we're all set. So you can click on Go to Dashboard. Before you do, I just want to point out on the right side here, you can kind of see the way that AI is understanding what, your inputs, which is good. And most of this should make sense. So go ahead and review it and then click on Go to Dashboard. And after you click on Go to Dashboard, you're going to see it takes a minute to set everything up. So at this point, basically just let Wix do what it does and let it take a minute to set everything up for you. Okay, so once that's all done, you're going to be brought to this page. So this is the CMS, the content management system, or kind of the administrative portal of your site, right? It's really the back end of your site. Now, we don't want to focus on this too much right now. I'll come back to it in a minute, because what I really want to do is get your site up and running, because I know that's what you're most interested in. So what we're going to do is we're going to go on the top right here where we click on Design Site. And here, how would you like to design your website? Would you like to generate a design with AI or customize a template? Now, at this point in time, while I'm making this tutorial, the generate a design with AI, and you can try it if it's in the future that you're watching this, it's just not that good yet. Quite frankly, I haven't been really happy with it. I've tried it. It really creates simple sites. So I actually prefer to customize a template, okay? Now, if you're thinking, well, I don't want a template because it's like every other site. Yes, it is, but no, it's not. And here's the reason. Most local businesses, HVAC companies especially, they use a template, okay? If you hire a web designer right now, in a month's time, they'll have the site up. They're going to probably use a template, a theme as they call it. That's what companies do. That's what HVAC companies do. Most local businesses do this. If you generate something from scratch and hire a developer to actually code it all, it's very expensive. This makes it a lot more affordable, and you can adjust the template however you want. You can change the colors, the fonts, the images, all that. You can move things around. Wix allows you to do that. You can move things around. You can change it as much as you want. But I recommend customizing a template. It's just the easier way to do it. And you can customize it so much that it makes sense. So let's go ahead and click on customize or pick a template. Then it'll bring you into this page here. So it says HVAC contractor company. Let's just put HVAC. Okay. We're going to put HVAC here. And this basically is going to be where you can choose the skeleton of the site that you want, right? So we've got here HVAC technician. You see in the bottom left, HVAC technician. And that goes into electrician stuff, plumbing, electrician. Okay. So first thing we're going to do, I recommend that you choose 3 different themes that you like. So this one, we're going to click on view details here. Let's click on that. Let's go to page 2 and see if there's any bit more on HVAC technicians, solar, auto. Okay, let's go up to here. I'm going to put air conditioning. See if there's anything related to No, there's not. Okay, so we're going to be stuck with themes that aren't exactly for HVAC technicians, except for the one, right? Which is okay, because the thing to understand here, all these themes that we're choosing, it's really just the skeleton of the site, right? We can customize this any way that we want. So we go into here, we can basically scroll and say, what are any of these that you actually like? Here's a plumbing service. I think this is kind of a good one. So we'll click view details here. And then we'll go to one more page. Let's go to here. We see handyman, solar panel. So just basically choose one that you think looks pretty good. I like this one here. Let's go ahead and click on view details with this one. So we've got the 3 different sites, right? We've got this one, and this one. What we want to do next is view the demo sites. So you absolutely want to view the demo sites, because when you view them, you can really see what it would be like to have that site if you were live. So the air conditioning one, so this is basically straight up air conditioning, right? It talks about air conditioning, the services, get a free quote. This is good. About us, testimonial. Looks pretty good. Sharp looking site. I like it. It looks nice. Okay, that one's pretty good. Let's go to plumbing. Now again, I know this is plumbing. Remember that you can change the images, you can change the text, you can change anything that you want on here. So let's look at this one. We'll scroll a little bit. We'll see our story. Okay, so it goes basically images that we'd have to change. Plumber you can trust. You can put HVAC that you can trust, right? We'll scroll down. Our services talks to that. This little thing, which is kind of moving as it does it, which is neat. Special offer. This is kind of cool, right? Just a 20% off thing if you want to offer that. And then a contact page. Not bad, right? So let's close this. We don't really need that. And then this one right here, this is a roofing one. I do like that they have a free estimate right here, but there's more to it, right? We click in, we're just kind of looking around here and seeing all the different information. But this one, okay, this one just isn't really it for me. I'm not really a huge fan of this one, so let's just close it out. So we're basically choosing between this one, the plumber one, or the HVAC one. I got to go with the HVAC one. It's just nice that it already has everything set up. But you could do the plumbing if you want, or any other theme that you really, catches your eye. I recommend that you only look at like 3 to 5 themes though, because if you take too long here, you could look at 20, 30 themes. Just look at like 3 to 5 that are, closely related. So I think this one's good. We'll go ahead and click on edit this site. And after we click on that, it's going to take a minute for Wix to set everything up, but let it do what it does and let it, take a minute to do what it does. And then once it's all set up, we'll go from there. And then once it's all set, you're going to see this right here. So we'll click to 100%. So this is actually the site. And technically, I want to show you right now, technically we can click on publish. And once we get to this little pop-up here, we click on view the site. This is technically your website. If you give this URL right here to anybody, they are going to be able to find your website on the internet. So if you share that URL, they'll be able to find it. Now you may say, well, that's a really ugly URL and I want a better domain name. I understand. And you also probably want to get rid of this like weird little ad right here. Let me close these out. This weird little ad right here. If you want to do that, that's no problem. You can actually go to here, delete all this, connect your domain and set that up to wherever you may be. Now, I do want to say that if you want to customize it and get rid of the ad thing, you do have to actually purchase a plan, a premium plan with Wix. It's actually very affordable, you guys, because it includes hosting, security, all these little modules, everything you can click, the form leads, all these different things. There's a lot of different things here that Wix makes easy. So definitely recommend that you do that if you want to adjust the URL. But we don't have to do it right this second, right? It's something that you definitely want to do soon because they usually offer, well, you see right here, 50% upgrade. So it's nice that they give you a deal. But again, no pressure on that, something to consider. Okay, so before we actually get into designing this homepage, let's go back to the CMS really quick. I just want you to understand it because you do need to understand it to understand your site, right? So we'll design the homepage in a second. Let's go back to this page here. This is, again, the CMS, content management system, and it's about, again, the administrative portal. Now, I want to talk about this real quick just so that you fully understand what it actually has, so you understand, when you're designing your site, how this works. So this is the back end, right? We have setup and home, which is self-explanatory. We have getting paid. So if you want to connect and actually get payments directly into your site, this will allow you to do it right here, right? You could set it all up here. Booking calendar. If you want to set up something, for instance, like estimates, if you want to set up estimates on certain days of the week, you can actually open your schedule up or your calendar up online so that people who visit your site, they can request their own free estimate on a time that works for you. You control all the time slots. So you could say, Tuesdays from, 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. we're open for, estimates. You could do that and have that set up, and then people can just book it directly on your site, which is kind of cool because when someone calls, you just say, hey, just go to our site, book it there, you'll be all set. So it's pretty nice to be able to have that all set up, and it'll just limit a lot of the back and forth that you got to do with, contacting customers, et cetera. So booking calendar, if you want to set that up, you can. That's how you do that. Sales, not really relevant here, but if you have orders and things, that'll keep track of that. Catalog, this is if you have booking services, so if you say, well, we're going to offer AC tune-ups or things like that, and we have a flat rate cost. So let's say it's $200 for an AC tune-up for a single AC. You can actually set that up and make it just like before, where people will actually be able to go into there and they'll be able to set up their own appointment to have their AC tuned up without you having to ever talk to them. So it just saves a ton of time. So if you want to do that, you can. That's booking calendar. Sales, again, we don't need to get into that too much. We already talked about that. Catalog, okay. Apps is a cool one. So if the example I always use, if you want live chat on your site and it's not there already, you can actually use an app to set that up, which is nice because you just click a button and boom, it's added to your site. That's not easy to do. Most website things out there, it's not that easy to do. Wix makes it really easy. So you got to love that. If you need it, you can go into that. This other stuff a little bit more advanced, but we'll talk about it. So site and mobile app, if you want to get SEO, get traffic from Google, things like that, that'll help you set that up. Logo and branding, if you need a logo, it'll actually help you here. Inbox, this is if people submit contact forms, all that information will be there. You can also forward that information to an email address if you want, but it's all set up. Customers and leads, this is good for basically people who submit forms and things. It'll have it all in one centralized place at a glance. So you can always see, okay, we've had 15 forms submitted, here's all the people, etc. Kind of a breakdown of all that. Marketing, won't dive into it much here, but if you need help with marketing, that's there. Analytics, this is good for once your site is designed. If you want to know where people are going on your site and the pages, you can see all that here. And then automations, this is really good if you want to set up automations of any sort. And again, it's a little bit more advanced. We won't talk about it too much here. Settings, CMS developer tools, all kind of similar, right? More advanced stuff, but good to have that functionality as well. But that all said, that is the CMS. So let's dive back into the homepage and talk about actually designing this. Your homepage is the first thing that visitors see. So it needs to be a clear and compelling page. Let people know right away what you do and where you serve. So whether you specialize in HVAC repairs, installations, or maintenance, make it really obvious. Include a strong call to action like call now for fast, reliable HVAC service so that customers can reach you instantly and quickly. Okay, so when you're talking about designing the homepage, there's a thing to understand. So you have the top, which is the header of your site. You have the bottom, which is the footer of the site. And then you have everything in between, which every page is going to be unique for that. Now, the header and footer is on every page of your site. It's important to understand that. So your header and footer, you want to design it the right way. But after it's been designed the right way, just know that it carries over to every other page. So it's actually good to take your time on those. And then, the middle stuff, like I said right here, this is where you get a little bit more unique on each page. So let's focus on the header of the homepage here and really the header of the whole site. So first off, we've got this little thing here, this cart icon. They add that. We don't really need that. Book online. The book online is if you want to make it where you open up your schedule. Now I'm going to show you how this works. So we'll click on preview here. And I'll just show you how it actually works so that you can see. So if someone were to click book online, right, you would set it up to say, hey, HVAC tune-up, right? Like this is a perfect example. It'll take an hour and a half, $129. They can click on book now, right? And then they can actually choose on your calendar, right? They can, check next availability, just choose whatever works, choose a time, etc. Click next. They can make the payment online and you're all set. So you could set that up if you want, right? I think most of you watching and the feedback that I've gotten is that generally speaking, That's not usually what you want to set up because you want people to have to talk to you so that they understand who you are and your business, et cetera. You want to build that relationship. So let's just assume that you're not going to have that part, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click here. I'm going to click on Manage Menu, and I'm going to click Book Online. We are actually going to hide this from the menu. Now, again, you can have it if you want, but for our situation here, let's take it away. Okay, so taking that away now, we've got this here. This is actually navigation. It's actually pretty good. The only thing that I really want to add is Manage Menu. I'm going to add a blog, okay? So we're going to click on Add Page right here, and we're going to click on Blog. Add Wix blog, and it'll take a second, but it'll actually set that up. Now, you don't have to do a blog. It is optional, again, but I like to have a blog because it showcases your expertise. And you can write a few things in there, kind of give updates about what's going on. And it's neat because when people come to your site, if they look at the blog, they can see that you're actually an expert. They can assume that too. But when you have different blog posts and things that detail stuff, it really helps. And also it'll bring traffic from search engines over too, which is a good thing. So we're going to add that as well. And then here we need to adjust the menu. Again, let's manage the menu. Blog, we're going to rename this. This needs to be all capitalized here. Okay, so now we've got Home, Services, About, Testimonials, Contact, and Blog. Let's click Manage Menu, and let's actually drag Contact down. Usually you just want that all the way on the right. And then you see here, I didn't want to do that. I don't know why it brought me all the way up. Hold on. And then you see here, we've got the social bar on the right side. So if you're active on social media, you can keep that, or if not, you could just click it and delete. It's really up to you. But overall, I think that the navigation up here is actually pretty good. Now, you may have to change your logo and things like that. It's really easy to do. Just add elements, right? Image. If you already have a logo, great, right? We could just upload images and then upload it and bring it, upload it and bring it directly in. I just clicked add sections. Didn't mean to do that. Upload and bring it in. Or we could just click here and adjust the text however we want. We could make it bigger, smaller. The nice thing about Wix, you guys, is that it allows you to really do anything that you need to do within the design itself, just by clicking and dragging. That's actually pretty uncommon, by the way. So we would adjust this, let's just say we don't need that. And let's just say that we change this with our logo. Easy to do, right? You just change it, adjust it. We'll change vector art here, and we will choose something else. Let's just do, let's do air conditioning and see what comes up. We'll do this little thing right here. So add to page, boom. And we have to change the design, make the color into white. That's good. And we'll say that we definitely need to make this a little bit bigger. Let's do that. And now the size is a little bit off. So we'll click and drag this down right there. There we go. Okay. So now we actually have a logo. Again, your logo may be way better. You get the idea. We've got that. We've got the navigation here, and we should be all set with the navigation. Now, we're scrolling down. Let's go down to the footer because that's the next part that we want to edit. Now the footer is pretty easy. This one, it looks like there's a form that's supposed to be here, but this is going to be the footer. Contact us now, information, a Google integration, which is really easy. You just click manage locations. You just adjust to put your address and people can see your physical location, which is good. And then we've got this down here. Adding the form, really easy. Just click on edit form. And what we're going to do is we're going to add the different form fields that we need. So we'll say that we need a first name, last name, email, phone, and we need a long answer. And instead of long answer, we're just going to adjust this. How can we help? Okay, there we go. Click on save. That's pretty much all. You can do the settings to where this information goes, etc. But we'll click on save and it's not there, but that's okay. You need to click on settings and just go right here, my form. There we go. It's all set. Now you can see it drag this down, which is a little bit weird. We definitely don't want that. So we'll bring that back up. And it dragged this down too. We don't want that. We'll bring that up as well right there. And then we will click and drag this section up because we don't need it all the way down like that. And we are pretty much all set there. So that will be the footer. And then we've got the header. We're all set here. We've got a live chat here. I don't really want the live chat. Granted, it does, it can email directly to an inbox, but we'll just say that we don't want this live chat right here. So let's go ahead and delete that. And then we're all set there. So we've got the header and footer pretty much taken care of at this point. Okay, so the next thing we need to do is really just edit the homepage, right? So we scroll down and you can see, this looks really good. I don't know that I'd really change this. I will show you, if you want to change it. So let's change the background. I think this is good, but if you wanted to change it, what you can do, you can actually click on video and let's put air conditioning and see if anything comes up. I like that you can add a video, and this, not the greatest example, but let's say that we have a video that actually makes sense here. Let's see, a man smiling in house. We kind of want something to where it makes sense and looks good. So let's just say we're going to do this one, which is a baby lying in a bed. Doesn't make a ton of sense, but if we want to do this, this is media from Wix. You can also buy from Shutterstock. What's cool about this is you do this. Okay, let's click on publish. Sorry, let's click on publish. And we will get this all set up here. Click on view site. And now on the live site, you're going to see this is actually a video of a little kid, which is kind of cool because it's, you know, again, this is like family type of situation. I don't know if this one's the best example, but you can obviously think of, you know, a family sitting there in cool air, that type of thing. So this is kind of a cool way of giving it a little bit of a unique look to your site. That we could do that. Now, if you don't want to do that because you say, hey, Ron, I tried it, I just can't find video that makes sense. What we can do is we can go to here, click, change background, choose image, right? And they have a lot of images, media from Wix. So we'll put air conditioning. All right, let's put that, car AC. Let's just put this right here. So we could change the background to that, which maybe makes a lot more sense, right? And then also you may say, well, we have to, change the text here because it's obviously too bright. Well, no problem. We'll change it to black, right? So we're all set there. It's not that hard to do this. And then also I want to point this out, not that we'll probably use it here, but let's see. Right here, there's another image, right? So let's say that we're looking at this image. We're like, this isn't good. Change background, image. And let's say that we're like, well, we search, we can't find. You can actually do an AI image creation, right? So click on photo. Okay, so we put a HVAC technician working on an AC unit. Now you don't have to use this, but the reason why I like these AI images, they're free. And once you use them and have them all set up on your site, you don't owe credit to anybody. So let's click on create image. And I just want to preface this. These aren't always perfect, right? Some of these images are not good. Sometimes you have to adjust the prompt a lot of different times, but we'll see what it comes up with here. So this one isn't bad. I mean, it looks a little bit cartoonish, so you'd probably regenerate a few times, but let's say at this one, let's just go with this and say, yeah, we're going to go with this. Let's say it is good. You click on save. And then what will happen is we can actually change this in the background. And now that's the image that we have, right? So we've changed this image. We've got this. Close this out. Change this image here. Then we've got our services, which is cool. Vector art, we can change the vector art right here to whatever you need. I think this is good in that it'll, actually tell them what services you offer. So that's all good. Schedule your service today. This is where you get, the contact us or call the phone number, which is good. About Ron's HVAC. This is kind of the about section, right? They've also got to read more, so you can expand on it if you want. The image, testimonials here, and then contact us now with a form lead. Pretty good overall homepage with all the things that you want. Really, it has all of our services, testimonials, about, and then people can actually click through and learn more if they want to on different areas. So I really like the homepage design here. I mean, obviously there's going to be some tweaks that you need to do. And you can always change colors. Like this is blue, which I actually think makes a lot of sense. But if you didn't want this to be blue, right? We can change the header design, the fill color, and we can change this to any color that we want. We can change it to that blue or an orange, things like that. I'm going to keep it as the blue just because I think it looks good. But if you wanted to change it, you would be able to do that. So yeah, overall, this is a good homepage though, and I'd be happy going forward with this. Your services page should list everything that you offer. You want to be really specific here. You want to mention heating and cooling and ventilation services. If you handle AC installations, furnace repairs, duct cleaning, or energy efficient system upgrades, break each one of those down so that customers know exactly how you can help them. It also makes sense to add a booking button or a contact number to make it easy for them to take action and contact you right then and there. So next is the services page. So we'll click right here. And what we want to do is go to services. So when we go to the services page, it really gives a detail of everything that we offer. I actually love this. I think this is very, very clear, very concise, and tells you exactly what you need to know. So I don't really think that we need to change much here. I mean, obviously you'd want to change the content and the text. And if you want to, you could say, well, I want to, make this vector art a little bit bigger. You can just, the beauty of Wix is that you could just click and drag and adjust it however you want. You could move these, and say, well, we want to put this one over here and this one over here. You can adjust it however you want and whatever makes sense for you, which is just something that's really, really nice with Wix because you may not realize it with websites, but actually just clicking and dragging like this, very difficult to do with most website design or design platforms out there. But I think this is really good. I like the way that it looks. The only thing I'd have is a call to action, but it has it because it has contact us now right in the footer. So, people read, they'll be reading and see all the different things and say, yeah, I need one of those, contact us now. Great. They will either call you or they will, fill out the first name and everything in the contact page as well. So I think this is actually really good, the services page. I wouldn't, recommend that you change a lot about it. But overall, that's a pretty simple page to design because especially in this theme, it's just really well done. Next is the testimonials page. So nothing builds trust faster than real customer reviews. You want to show testimonials from happy clients who praise your professionalism, reliability, and your expertise. If you have before and after photos of HVAC installations or repairs, include them as well. The more social proof that you have, the more likely people are going to call you instead of a competitor. Next is a testimonials page. So this one's a little bit unique. When we click into here, we'll go to testimonials. What it actually does is it brings you to the home page and then those different testimonials that you have on the home page, right? It's actually a slideshow and you can adjust that. So we're going to go into the home page here directly, right? Really simple to adjust this, by the way. And if you're wondering like, oh, should I create a whole other testimonials page? Maybe. I mean, if you have a lot of testimonials and you want to, you can. You don't necessarily have to. One thing that I would say that you could do, right? So we'll add a section and we'll do testimonials. And we will add one more section that has more testimonials, right? Let's click and drag this one over. We'll go down right here. We'll add it there. And what we can do now, right? We have our testimonials here. We have additional testimonials here, and we can click and drag this over maybe. And you can actually change the slide background to the work that you've done, right? So different AC units that you've actually adjusted or worked on, especially if you're doing commercial stuff, you can adjust that to make that slide background. That would be slide 1, slide 2. We could, maybe move it over here and put the image here. Slide 3. You kind of get the idea, right? We can adjust it to make it look a little bit more aesthetically pleasing and showcase some of the work, right? Because it's always good to showcase your work. So that would be how I would adjust that. Adding the testimonials, just changing them, pretty simple to do. I think it's fine to have it just how it is, where it says testimonials and people click and it brings you down. I think that's fine. I don't see anything wrong with that. Plus, it makes it a lot easier to manage everything as well. The About Us page is where you introduce yourself and your business. You will share your experience, your certifications, and what sets you apart from other HVAC professionals. If you're a licensed technician with years of experience or a family-owned business, mention that as well. Customers feel more comfortable hiring someone that they trust. Okay, next is the About page, which is really simple here. So we'll go to About. We go to About here, About Ron's HVAC, right? It just tells you everything, adjust the image. Obviously, I put an image of yourself, maybe yourself with your family if you have one, to adjust that to make it, who you are so people really know about what the company is, adjust this. I like it. They have frequently asked questions here as well, which is cool because you can just answer the common questions that you get all the time. And it's really easy to set this up too. You just manage FAQs and you can adjust it. So I think this is a good, really well-designed page. I like how it is. I like how when someone comes to it, we have not just about, but also FAQs. And also the other thing is that if they go into here, we already have this too. So we have About Ron's HVAC. And then if they click to read more, it actually brings them into this page for more detail. The thing that you could do here, if you are working with multiple different people on your team, you have About Ron's HVAC here. You could add a section, right? And we can do team, and we can actually add a whole little module here of our team. So it's About Us and then our team. And you can add, you can add more people if you need, et cetera, et cetera. So I like that too. If you want to adjust it to add more to the About page, that's a good way of doing it with the frequently asked questions as well. But overall, good page, maybe just adding the Meet the Team if you think that that's necessary. Your contact page should be as simple as possible. You want to display your phone number prominently, and if you offer emergency services, highlight that as well. Should also include a short form for customers who prefer to request a service online. And if you serve a specific area, adding a map or even listing the cities that you cover, that can be really, really helpful. So next is contact. So when someone clicks on the contact page in the navigation, it actually will bring them to the homepage and down to the contact form. I I think that's fine. You don't really need a contact page directly. The key with a contact page is just to make sure that you have a form, your phone number, your location, your email. It has all that in the footer. So the fact that they click on contact, it brings you down to that. I think that's totally fine. Just make sure that your footer is all set. Obviously with this theme we are, so we're all set there. We don't need to change much of this at all. But just make it easy so that people, if they want to contact you, it's really simple to do so. And this definitely makes that possible. Now, the next page is optional, but it can be helpful. So a blog or FAQ section can be valuable for answering common customer questions. So topics like, how often should you service your HVAC system, or signs that your AC needs repair. They can help educate potential clients and improve your website's search rankings. The more helpful content that you provide on your site, the more people will see that you are an expert in your field, which is also great when they're trying to book you. And then we got to go to the blog page here, the blog FAQ. So we're going to go to blog, right? And the way that this is going to work, so it's a little bit unique, the way that blogs work. So let me kind of explain it to you here so that you understand. So when someone clicks on a blog page, they're going to come to here. They're going to see all your blog posts. So there's just blog at the top, and then all the blog posts in it. I don't know why. This is just how they made blogs. That's how it works. And when someone goes to here, when they click in, they can actually read those blog posts that you wrote, right? That's really how these blogs work. Now, in order to adjust this, I mean, again, you don't have to have this page. It is optional, but I like that you can showcase your expertise and make it so that if somebody's on the fence about contacting you, they can see, oh, this company really knows what they're talking about. They've done some great things. So that's what I like about it. So when we do this, going to the blog, right, to the blog page, let's go to the blog page. Okay, what we do is we go into here, we click on all posts, and we click on manage posts. This brings you back into the CMS, the content management system. And what you're then able to do is create a new post. When you click on that, I'll click edit on one. This is basically what you're going to be brought up with, right? You put the title of the post here, the content of the post, you have the images, things like that. Really easy to add more stuff. So if we just click into one of these, we'll put enter. It's really good in that there's going to be right here, we click, and we can just do image, gallery, videos if you have them, etc., to whatever makes sense for you. And then once you're done, all you gotta do is click on publish, and that'll automatically move to the top, like you see it here. It'll move to the top of the actual blog. So in the blog itself, all the blog posts are gonna be shown. Again, writing about things that are relevant to your specific geo-targeted area is a good thing. So like Chicago, for instance, you may talk about how to winterize your AC unit, things like that, or how to deal with really humid summers, because I come from Chicago, I know. You can really adjust that. It's a good idea to do these things just to have them, and then write them kind of in your spare time, or have someone that works on your team help you write them. It just makes it a lot easier for you, and it'll bring expertise for you when people check out your site, but also make it so that search engines are more likely to show your content to people in your area and bring more eyeballs to your site as well. So congrats, you have officially made it. Now, if you followed everything in this tutorial, you now have a professional HVAC website. And while, of course, there will always be some tweaks and improvements over time, you've built up a strong foundation that gives you the visibility that you need to grow your business. And this website, it'll help you attract more customers and establish trust with those who need your services. Oh, and remember that big mistake that I mentioned in the beginning about most HVAC businesses that they make when they're building their website? Well, spoiler alert, it's actually not about the website at all. The number one mistake that most HVAC businesses make is not using email marketing effectively. Many HVAC companies, they assume that, once someone visits the site, they'll call immediately. But that's not always the case, right? Some people search for HVAC services today, but they don't actually need them until next week or, even next season. And email marketing, it'll help you stay top of mind in that time frame. You can collect emails through your contact form and then send automated follow-ups from there. With that, you could share maintenance tips, seasonal offers, or reminders about HVAC tune-ups. A simple email can really turn a website visitor into a paying customer when they actually need your service. Now, to make this easier, I recommend that you use Brevo, which integrates seamlessly with Wix and automates your email follow-ups as well. So you can go ahead and click on the link right up here, or check out the link in the description to go ahead and try that for free. Your HVAC website is more than just an online presence. It's really a powerful tool for attracting customers, building credibility, and growing your business. Now, if you found this video helpful, please do me a favor, hit the like button. And if you have any questions, drop them in the comments below. I would love to help you create a site that makes you the go-to HVAC expert in your area. Thanks for watching.